RBA. You'll also get 2 coils, plus obviously a coil RBA. You get the 0.2 ohm ultra UB ultra coils and the 0.15 UB ultra coils. On top of that, you've also got, like, you know, your little bags of extra accessories, O-rings, drip tips and things like that. So which is obviously quite a nice touch to have, like a drip tip, and then you've got like an outer drip tip kind of thing, as you see here. I've got like 2 pieces. So yeah, there's that. The first coil I decided to try to use was the 0.2 ohm UB ultra coil. Unfortunately, fuck arsing about with the settings, I actually ended up blowing that coil out. Here, as you can tell, you have your RBA vessel. It's a very simple little design, very easy. I will be going at this at a bit later point, later in the video. The device itself all nicely wrapped up and cozy. Clear out panels. Yeah, it's an okay looking device. Not too difficult to get open once you actually find the edges of the seal. It's finding them because it's obviously crystal clear. You can't tell straight away until you actually pay proper notice. Plus, I think I was on camera at this point. Here we have 18650, as I believe I said. Not sure if you noticed, you have side airflow. It's an adjustable airflow vessel, even for the stock vessel, which is quite cool. I do apologise. As you can tell, I'm a little bit rusty with AIOs. See, I found the perfect thing to use a penny for. I mean, a penny's useless these days, unless you're undoing a nut on an AIO. Really nice and simple to pop in. The hardest part is literally putting in the vessel itself. I do advise making sure your device is turned off before you do it. Prime it a little bit, possibly. But as I said, I did a bloody idiot move of I left the device on as I was installing the new coil. And I believe it was round about here-ish, I might have accidentally pressed that button, because right opposite my thumb, you can see where my finger is literally right next to the power button. I really need to work on my camera control. The juice I'm using is Sour Apple by Mixology. Really nice little juice, actually, to be honest. Obviously this is still the first coil I've installed. I might literally just skip past this point. The 510 itself is obviously on a fitted flush nut. You could probably change it out to a typical 510 screwed in flush nut, which would take your standard 510s. Once you get the your little plastic cap out, make sure you've got all O-rings fitted, otherwise it seems to move about. I think I did one on here. I've still got one on here. It seems to be fine. I mean, it's not super tight, but it's okay. So here we have our little RBA deck. Obviously you're going to need something with a 510 to pulse your coils. I decided to use the Aspire Paradox. I'm only going to be using an MTL coil. Inserted with this little packet you have extra gaskets, you also have extra seals, a couple of spare airflow pins. They wasn't marked up on what kind of mils they were supposed to be, unfortunately, but yeah, this little bottom piece is where you attach your 510 onto the mods. You will need to remove the airflow pin first. See, as you can tell with this video, every little mistake me working out is basically me going over it with you. So yeah, it's, see, I'm trying to measure up. So you've got a really tiny one, and you got, it looks to be a slightly bigger one. Screwed it directly on. The fitting of the coil itself is very easy. You're looking at a cross flathead screws. You know, it's not particularly difficult. You have a micro screwdriver included in the kit, which makes it quite easy. I decided to install here is some of Kevin Freeman's MTO aliens. I decided rather than I decided to basically remove half a wrap, bringing my resistance down a little bit lower, but you know, that's how the deck goes. You know, that's how you want to shape your coils, a bit like a normal coil. No parallel builds here. If I was you, what might make things easier is get a coil jig, hold it in place whilst you clamp down on your screws. I should have really tried to keep it in camera, but it is what it is. I'm still working out how to do all my camera work, you know. Make sure you adjust nicely, try to keep it all nice and level. Slow heat at a low level. I think I had it on about 10 watts, 11 watts here. A little bit lower wouldn't have hurt, but you know, you want to make sure these coils are nice and tight. Get a nice little pulse to them. Give it an adjustment if you need to. Maybe space out your coil, get rid of all the hot spots and things like that. Never worry about rushing it. Keep in mind this video is running at 2x speed as it is. So yeah, you can see that nice kind of darkish blue come up here. If you have to, give them a little bit of space, space out the legs a little bit, you know. Don't worry about going too mad. All you want is a nice quick You know, you just want a nice, quick, even burn. Wicking this RBA is actually really, really easy. Make sure you've got enough cotton in there. Make sure it goes in quite tightly, but gives you enough for a little bit of leeway either side. You know, I like to fluff it out both ends anyway. Try to remove all the excess as much as possible. As you see, I've loosened it right up here. Starting hammering at it with my tweezers. I like to get it really thin, both sides, under and over, to get out all the husks and the things like that. You know, this is just how I do it. I do this with every RTA and every RDA build. I cut up quite close, literally right to the edge of the RBA. It's fucking sod's law typical. I didn't actually show you how I was doing it. But basically, you're not going to want to jam pack them cotton areas in. You just want it nice and plumped up enough. As you see, it is nice and plumped. It's not too thick. I'm using a nasty shisha here. Really banging stuff, to be honest. I've gone through loads of this lately. Just my opinion. I'm not usually into my salts. Snipping's very easy because it's quite far onto the edge of the deck. But if you don't feel competent in your clippers, I'm not totally competent in mine. You could also drop on the top of the RBA first, and see if it, just generally to see if it comes up with some sort of error code. I mean, I probably should have done that, but I didn't, and luckily for me, it turned out beautifully. But as I said, it was a very easy RBA to build, even if I do say so myself. And I've not had the best of luck with Boros in the past, if I'm honest with you. Flush nut, proper seal down tight. Keep your watches, fill your vessel, and don't forget to clear up all your fucking mess afterwards. See, even the silicone port is a nice easy thing. Just make sure you don't overfill the fucking thing. Right, I'm on the Centaurus, I think it's b80, the Lostvape AIO Boro thingamajig. I've run this in the 0.15 coils. I did have a 0.2, I think it was, but I burnt that out instantly. Fuck arsing about the first time round. If I'm pretty sure I might have put that in the video because I've done quite a lot of different clips for this. I've also been running the Boro vessel it comes with too, their own Boro vessel, which isn't a bad little build, to be honest. It's quite nice. It's only a small deck to it, so don't expect any big heavy beefy fucking coils, things like that. The integrated drip tip to this is actually really nice. It's not too difficult to use. It's not hard to change. I mean, the actual piece is actually just a standard 510, but you add it to their little thingamajigs. So as you can see, I've been back on the 0.23. The coil life's okay on them. They're not brilliant. I really wouldn't recommend running the 0.15s too much. You probably, luckily, if you got 100 puffs per battery, I found. So yeah, it's definitely one of them that runs better at a mouth to lung kind of setting. I couldn't remember if they did a mouth to lung. I know they do a 0.3 because I bought some 0.3 coils stock coils. I just haven't used them yet, so that's something else. So I've got a fuse clapton in here, I do believe. What was it? No, it was one of Kevin Freeman's aliens, I do believe I put in this. So I'm going to bring it right back down to 25 watts, because it's a Nichrome 80 coil, you know. I'm pretty sure he does them in 2 cores. But yeah, I mean, I've had a bit of playtime with this since the videos previous to this, because I've decided when I'm doing my videos now, I give it adequate testing time. I go back to it, I come back and forth on a few things now, so this way I get to reanalyze things I dislike or like, get to know the device a little bit more and things like that. One of the things you saw me do was I'm doing this drip tip. Basically it's just basically a little shell that goes on the actual drip tip itself. You know, you see the O-ring there. Realistically, you should have 2 if you want a tight fit for this thing. I mean, realistically, I don't like the plastic things. I think they're a little bit odd, and this one's not very symmetrical, if you get what I mean. But the good thing about drip tips is you can change them off yourself, so you know, there's not a huge biggie on that. And so yeah, it's a nice little device. The airflow's pretty thick, so if I was you, if you were thinking about using a top airflow vessel, I wouldn't, because you're going to have to get some custom panels if you were to do that, to fit that. I don't know anyone right now that's doing custom panels for these, so that's a bit of a downside on that one. I mean, I'm talking like things like the taurine RBA with the top air. I think it's got top airflow. At least a higher up airflow anyway. I think that was about here, because the vessel on the taurine is only about 3.5 milliliters. So, you know, I mean, the good thing is you've got size in here. There's a lot more, you've got a lot more capacity. But this to me is more of a small. You can get small direct lung coils in here, 2.5 mils, in my opinion, as big as you're going to get. You know, they're going to be small. This is why I just stuck to mouth to lung. It's only an 18650. I know some people might like to push it a little bit further. I don't see the fucking point. I mean, if I'm only taking an 18650 out with me for the day, I've already done it. I literally carried 5 sets of batteries with me, and I fucking blew through the lot of them, you know. So it wasn't a win on 80 watts. Let's just put it that way. So it's not to say the flavour was bad. The flavour was fucking brilliant, if I'm honest. I mean, that when I was testing that stock coil out, I was using the mixology sour apple, and the flavour fucking held up perfectly, but it was just having to fucking change out the batteries all day. It was pissing me right off. Some people don't mind doing that. Me, if I'm carrying a device, the only thing I want to carry is the device and a bottle of juice, you know, and that's it. I don't want to fucking have to carry my backpack with me with spare batteries and spare this and spare that. It annoys me. But I like the button. For a right hand, I've got a habit of holding it like that, and this thing, my finger accidentally holds the airflow, so that's like, so that's that. And if I weren't careful, I might be holding the airflow here too, so I have to kind of remove my fingers a little bit. which is a bit annoying. I'd much rather, I can't do it this way either, having fun fire it, because I almost block up the airflow from the front. Not totally, I mean there is a little bit of room, but I almost block it up from the sides too. Left-handed, yeah, I mean, yeah, it is probably be a bit better for a left-handed person. But I'm right-handed, you know, so it's definitely one for your lefties. I never thought I'd be talking about a fucking mod about for a right-handed person or a left-handed person until I realised I was blocking up the fucking airflow. But that's the difference, though, isn't it? That you don't notice these things until you come across that issue. So, yeah, I mean, it is a well functioning device. I don't think it's particularly expensive. I'd rather 21700, yeah, but I'm one of them people though. Some people don't like 21700s because it means you've got a bigger device. But my argument is, look at the fucking size of the billet box. That's only an 18650. I mean, this thing's relatively small, you know. It really is a cupful, you know. I mean, if I didn't have the drip tip on, you couldn't tell it was in my hand, realistically. So, it is a small device. So, I think Lostvape have done well with it. This particular pattern I'm not too thrilled with, I suppose. There was a bit of a weird one. I should probably point out in the chamber. Can you see that marking line? Will that come like this? I have no fucking idea what that is. I haven't tried to strip it out, to be honest, because the chances are me using stock coils isn't going to happen all that often. So yeah, I don't know what that discoloration is. I would, with some of the print on here, like, I know some people don't like branding and things like that, but at the end of the day, right, if you've got a fucking clear frosted, a clear glass on here, there's a logo here, at least bold it out a little bit, you know. That's just my opinion. You see that? You can only see that clearly when the panel's off. You can't really see it on the silver, so I think that should have taken a bit more effort off. But yeah, I mean, grey and silver, stainless steel, like it's them funny colours, isn't they? Would I like the more vibrant colours? Probably not. Can't really remember what other colours there were. Looking at the fucking magnets is a bit of an eyesore this side. I mean, it's a bit plain, isn't it, like that? And it looks okay like that, but I don't like seeing my cells, and I'm not really one for rewrapping cells and things like that. I like to know what cells I'm using at that current point in time. I mean, this is a P26A. I know it's roughly about 25 amps if I was to use it in a mech. So I know that's 0.12 build or something like that. So I like to keep track of my batteries that I'm using. If I've got them all in different funky fucking colours and shit like that, I'm not going to, it's going to put me off. It's going to keep me going a bit fucking lala. So yeah, I'm going to call this as a bit of a thumbs up. The drip tip is built for direct lung. I'm not going to lie on that one. If you want to melt a lung, get your own drip tips in. It's just wide. It's just wide. There's no other way of putting it. But other than that, it's a well-functioning device. So I hope you all appreciate my pros and cons to this little device. I wasn't actually going to bother doing a fucking review on it. I was just going to do a quick unboxing, see what it's all about, and show people, but it's turned out whatever it's turned out to be. So, right, I hope to catch you all soon. Don't forget, if you ain't joined up already, join us on Dark Humour Vape's Facebook group and vote for us at the Easy Click Awards. That would be really appreciated. Join the community, make some friends, have a fucking laugh. We're just a community. We're not paid. We're not sponsored. We don't get any royalties for any of this shit. None of this review stuff. Yes, I did get this for free. I actually won it off a giveaway. But that's what I do. I like to review things. Call me a free fucking shit hunter. Yes, I am. I've paid for enough products to review, and I will keep paying for products to review too when I've got the money. But I will also take a free product every now and then to review. And my opinions will remain unbiased. So I will catch you all soon.